Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prachachana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pati Paramahamsa Parivraj Acharya Sattva Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Guru Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jata Udhiraye Nashta Prayeshu Bhaktishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtikir. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4, Chapter 24, entitled Chanting the Song sung by Lord Shiva. And we have the last text, text 79. Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana.
Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana.
Parasya Pungsha Paramatmanastavam.
Parasya Pungsha Paramatmanastavam.
Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat.
Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat.
Charadvam ante tata apsyate psitam.
Charadvam ante tata apsyate psitam.
Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana.
Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana.
Parasya Pungsa Paramatmanastavam.
Parasya Pungsa Paramatmanastavam.
Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat.
Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat.
Charadvam ante tata apsyate psitam.
Charadvam ante tata apsyate psitam. Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana.
Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana. Parasya Pungsa Paramatmanastavam.
Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat.
Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat.
Charadvam ante tata apsyate psitam.
Charadvam ante tata apsyate psitam. Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana. Parasya Pungsa Paramatmanastavam. Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat. Charadhamante tata apsyate psitam. Vaishnavis.
Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana.
Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana.
Parasya Pungsa Paramatmanastavam.
Parasya Pungsa Paramatmanastavam.
Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat.
Japanta Ekagra Diastapo Mahat.
Charadvam ante tata apsyate psitam.
Charadvam ante tata apsyate psitam.
Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana.
Gitam Mayedam Naradeva Nandana
Parasya Pumsa Paramatmanastavam
Parasya Paramatmanastavam
Japanta ekagradiyastapo mahat
Chapantaikagradhyastapo mahat
Charadvamante tata apsyate pitam Gitam sung Mayam by me idam this Naradeva Nandana O sons of the king Parasya of the supreme Pumsaha personality of Godhead Parama Atmanaha the super soul of everyone Stavam prayer Chapantaha chanting Eka Akra perfect attention Diyaha intelligence Tappaha austerities Mahat great Charatvam you practice Ante at the end Tattaha thereafter Apsyataha will achieve Ipsitam the desired result. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear sons of the King, the prayers I have recited to you are meant for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I advise you to recite these prayers, which are as effective as great austerities. In this way, when you are mature, your life will be successful and you will certainly achieve all your desired objects without fail. Purport: if we persistently engage in devotional service, certainly all our desires will be fulfilled in due course of time. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 24th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Chanting the Song sung by Lord Shiva. Yeah, I guess one of the shortest purports. Yes. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Kinanchana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namo Pistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My dear sons of the King, the prayers I have recited to you are meant for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I advise you to recite these prayers, which are as effective as great austerities. In this way, when you are mature, your life will be successful and you will certainly achieve all your desired objectives without fail. And since the purport was so short, we can read it again also. If we persistently engage in devotional service, certainly all our desires will be fulfilled in due course of time. Hare Krishna. So, it's an encouraging verse, no? Purport. All our desires will be fulfilled. And we should only desire the right things, right? There's this saying that sometimes it's a great luck to not get what we want. Sometimes a great luck, because maybe we desire something which actually is not so beneficial for us at the end of the day. In any case, whatever we desire, if we persistently practice devotional service, it will be fulfilled. So I thought, okay, what should we talk from this shloka? But actually, Lord Shiva says here that the prayers that he has recited, they are meant for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the main goal is to please Krishna with these prayers. And then also, he makes the point that the prayers are extremely effective. They are as effective as great austerities. And when you are mature, your life will be successful. So I found these are three interesting points. The mantra is meant to please Krishna. The mantra is very effective, and we attain the result when we are mature in life. So, and we are usually not chanting the Rudra Gita every day, right? But what do we chant every day? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So maybe we can try to apply these teachings to the holy name, right? Because in our case, it's not that Lord Shiva appeared in front of us and gave us the Rudra Gita, but we were fortunate that Srila Prabhupada came into our life through his disciples, who are our gurus now, and they presented us with the holy name. They gave us the Maha Mantra. And similar to the Rudra Gita, the Maha Mantra is also meant to be chanted for the pleasure of Krishna. I don't think Krishna was so pleased with my chanting this morning. That's for sure. Yeah, it's every day a new challenge. But the word here is interesting. It says ekagraha, which means perfect attention. Perfect attention. And yeah, that's our challenge, to every day again be aware what we are doing, because the challenge is that because we do it every day, it can become very mechanical. You know, okay, Mangalarti finish. Let's sit down, chant Hare Krishna, and then comes the next Guru Puja, then finally breakfast. But we then forget that, you know, now this is the most important time. Now, this 5 to 7, that's the most important time. Now we get a chance to, connect with Krishna. And as I said, I'm really preaching to myself, because my japa was really not good this morning. So I'm preaching to myself. Now is the time to again connect with Krishna. This is the time. And therefore this attention is required. So let me now really focus and chant attentively. And not only attentively, but with the idea of pleasing Krishna. Let Krishna be satisfied with my chanting. And the example is given. I mean, we have all heard this many times, but if someone is calling our name, Dina Dayal, Dina Dayal. Someone is calling my name. Yes. No, we're immediately attentive. Like someone is remembering me. Someone is calling me. Someone, or we hear someone else talking. Dina Dayal did this really nice. We hear they're speaking my glories. my kirtan is going on. So naturally we feel attracted, we feel pleased. It's very it's natural. So Krishna is a personality. He is also, and especially we have turned away from Krishna for many lifetimes. And Krishna is very sad about this. Krishna is very eager that we again establish our relationship with him. So then when we finally turn to him and call his name, then Krishna is very, very pleased. But when we call him, and the next moment we forget about him again, because we fall asleep or because we think about so many other things, then Krishna is like, come on, like, first you're calling me, and then you don't show me any attention. It's not very polite, It's like you invite some friends to your home, and when they come, you don't have time for them, Why did you call them in the first place? If you have guests, then you want to give all attention to the guests. Okay, how are you doing? So nice that you're here. Please sit down. Take some. Can I serve you something? You give attention. They are the center. Everything else you put aside. Now the guests are in the center of attention. And if you don't do that, it's a great offense, right? But that's what we usually do. I did it this morning for sure. First 3 mantras were attentive, and then the rest going in a different direction. Then Krishna is like, okay. So that's one thing that we always should try to remember. That chanting the Maha Mantra is meant to please Krishna. And so Sachinanda Maharaj, of course, he speaks about this. And he says, chanting with the intention to serve. That we should try to chant and have this mood of service. And Maharaj reminds us of the mood that we should have, the mood of being a servant. It's too small, getting old. Maharaj says, everything starts with desire. When we sit down to chant the holy name in Japa or Kirtan, we must desire to serve. This is the original identity, Swarup, of all Jivas. At initiation, Vaishnavas receive a last name that really is the best name there is, Dasa or Dasi. It indicates that our dharma, our essential occupation, is to perform service. This essential quality lies dormant in us like the potency of fire within a match. Like in a match, the fire is there. At first, a match gives a flicker of fire, but given the right circumstances, it has the capacity to burn down a whole town. Not even 1,000 strong men can extinguish the full blaze, all started by a little match. It's a nice picture, no? If you ching, you have a little. But then, if that little flame, gets the right circumstances, the whole town can burn down. So similarly, all starts with desire, and with the proper desire. In the beginning, it may be very small, but if that desire is properly cultivated, it can become very strong in a positive way also. At the moment, we are unfortunately wasting our seva potency in dealings of this world. Family, society, partner, and the endless array of sense objects that promise satisfaction. Therefore, the flame of our natural relationship with Krishna is only slightly manifested. We want to serve, and yet our focus on Krishna is divided. This divided attention takes us in all directions, and we remain frustrated. This divided attention takes us in all directions, and we remain frustrated with our limited experiences of happiness. This frustration can only be cured when we start to cultivate a deep desire to serve Krishna. Only if we take up our seva dharma, which we are made for, is the full manifestation of our true selves possible. So that is the deep desire to serve Krishna needs to be manifested, and only then that fire of bhakti or devotion can actually become strong. A Maharaj speaks of a blazing inclination to serve. Become very, very fiery, very enthusiastic to serve Krishna. And in the same chapter, Maharaj makes the point that the holy name is a person. When we realize that the holy name is a person, then we have a personal relationship, and we understand it's a person that we're meant to please and to have a relationship. And in essence, Maharaj says that chanting with sambandha is the most important principle of chanting japa. That we should always remember that we have that relationship with Krishna that we want to reawaken. Okay, so these are some thoughts on chanting the holy name, and we try to please the Lord by, and Prabhupada also gives that meditation. Let's try to chant, hearing ourselves chanting sincerely. And that's a nice meditation. You chant the holy name, and you try to listen how it sounds, and you try to listen, okay, how sincere do I chant? And you listen that sincere chanting. Not the spaced out chanting, but the sincere, devotion. And of course, then when it comes to pleasing Krishna, it's all about chanting with emotion, also chanting with the heart. Because to chant attentive is one thing, it's good if we chant attentive, but it can also become very mechanical. So we need to invest our heart, that we chant with emotion. Krishna, I really want to re-establish this relationship. I want to come close to you. And so then that, when that emotion is there, that longing, then comes chanting with vipralamba, with the desire to reconnect with Krishna. Then this is very pleasing to Krishna. Hare Krishna. So okay, that was the one part, chanting, that we should chant with a desire to please Krishna. Then the second point that is made here by Lord Shiva is that that we should be convinced that this chanting has an effect. It's very effective chanting. It's very powerful. I remember when I came new to Krishna consciousness, there was a CD, and on the back of the CD it says, just chant this sublime mantra and your life will be perfect. I thought, wow, just chant this mantra and my life is perfect? Then I have to do this. and I went back and then I chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Somehow, it gave me such inspiration, My life can be perfect just by chanting this mantra. It's amazing. Who doesn't want to have a perfect life? So we need to have that faith that this holy name it's so effective, it's so powerful. And Shastra explains that different ages, the different yugas, there were different methods. And in this age, just by chanting the holy name, we attain all the same benefit from other. Like here says, great austerities. And we know what kind of austerities. We just spoke about this recently. Some yogis, they sit in their underwear, in this yogi underwear, the gopin. They sit in the snow, in the ice, in the winter, or inside the cold water in the river. They meditate. And in the summer, they sit surrounded by fire circle. It's already 40, 50 degrees in India in the summer. It's already hot. But then they put fire around them also, and just meditate like this. Heavy austerities, So then I think then Mangalarti is okay, no? If we just going from Mangalarti and chant some Hare Krishna should be fine. But by chanting the Maha Mantra, actually we attain the same result, or even more, much more result than all these different kind of austerities. And there I was reminded of a story. I'm not sure whether I get it right, and you can correct me. But there was a story. I think usually it's always Narada Muni who plays there, but there was someone who didn't have faith in the holy name, and Narada Muni said, you just go to that. I think it was a bird, like a ryer. How you say in English? A whore. You say a whore, like this bird who stand on one leg and meditate on the river. Crane, yeah, maybe crane. We can say. Let's say crane. Yeah. So you go to the crane and you chant that mantra in the ears of the crane. You will see the effect. So that person goes, chants the mantra in the crane, Hare Krishna. And what happened? The crane immediately dies. oh my God, horrible. What happened? So he goes back to the spiritual master, Narada Muni, or whoever, to the spiritual master, and complains, like, what is this, what kind of mantra did you give me? That poor bird died. Oh yeah. So you go to the farmers. There is just a calf took birth. You go and chant the same mantra. Okay, a cow. Cow is killing a cow is a very great sin. So he was a bit reluctant, but Guru told him, you go. So he went to the farmer, and the farmer were happy to receive that young sadhu. And can I chant some mantras? Oh yes, very auspicious. Calf just took birth, chant some mantras. So he went, he chanted mantra in the ear, and the calf died immediately. And then he's, oh my God. So he went back to the Guru, completely frustrated. Again, died, Oh, it's okay, no, don't worry. Go to the kingdom, to the palace. The queen just gave birth to a prince. Oh my God. So but he had to go. Guru advised him, ordered him. So he went. And again, because he said, my master sent me and to recite mantras for the auspiciousness of the birth of the prince. So again, they let him in, and then he was like, he knew what happened, what will happen. So but again, the baby was there, and he chanted the mantra, and what happened? The prince died, and then the guards, they were already ready to kill that boy. But then what happened? From the dead body of the child, a celestial being came out, like light celestial being, said, "Stop!" And then he told the story. I'm very grateful to this young sadhu because he chanted 3 times. First, I took birth as a crane. Then he chanted the mantra, and I immediately got elevated to the birth of a cow. And then again he chanted the mantra. I got elevated to the birth as a prince. And again he chanted the mantra. Now I got a liberation. So I'm very grateful. And then the student realized, oh yeah, it's a very powerful mantra. And everyone was happy. And something like this. I guess there is a different version of the story. But the point is that we may sometimes doubt the potency of the mantra, but we should not doubt the potency of the mantra. No, Guru gives us the mantra, and we should chant with faith and determination. And if we do so, as Prabhupada says here, if we persistently engage in devotional service, certainly all our desires will be fulfilled in due course of time. So that determination, enthusiasm should be there. And of course, Srila Rupa Goswami encourages us with Uttahanishayat Haryatat Karma Parvartanat Sangatyagat Sotovrite Saptir Bhaktir Prasidati. Prasidati means success. Shaktir Bhakti. These 6 forms of bhakti, they give success, and being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient. These are the main we talk about. And Prabhupada says that one should accept this opportunity to return home back to Godhead very enthusiastically. Without enthusiasm, one cannot be successful. Even in the material world, one has to be very enthusiastic in his field, particular field of activity, in order to become successful. Even in a material life, if you want anything you want to achieve, you have to become very enthusiastic about it. Right? Dindayal Prabhu, he wants to establish a martial arts school. I've become very enthusiastic, right? It's like, this is what I want to do, you know, like. Otherwise, if you don't have enthusiasm, then, you know, Devashi Radhika wants to get a PhD. To be very enthusiastic, I get a PhD, you know. If you don't have enthusiasm, then you don't, because there's a lot of obstacles on the path, and you need to have that drive, that enthusiasm to do it. Prabhupada says, endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called utsaha, or enthusiasm. So that enthusiasm is done with endeavor and with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. And I especially like the end of this purport by Srila Prabhupada, because Prabhupada really hammers on the power of bhakti. Like, Prabhupada makes the point, one who practices devotional service should not become deviated by karma, jnana, yoga or something else. We should really stick to bhakti and have the faith that bhakti will give us all the desired results. That bhakti is so powerful. Let's just read a part of it. Prabhupada says, if one strictly follows the advice given in this verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, one is sure to advance in devotional service. Engagement in devotional service of the Lord is the life and soul of living entity. It is the desired goal and the supreme perfection of human life. One has to become confident about this, and one also has to be confident that all the activities other than devotional service will never yield any enduring benefit. Complete confidence in the path of devotional service will enable one to attain the desired goal. So one should be really confident. That's the thing. And then Prabhupada says, devotional service is so pure and perfect that once having begun, one is forcibly dragged to ultimate success. One is forcibly dragged to ultimate success if you once have started it. And it's quite an interesting way to explain, you know. Forcibly dragged. Forcibly dragged. You know, someone by force, dragging means taking someone and pulling. Like, now we go on Harinam, I don't want to come. Now you come with us. You drag the person into the van and close the door. Now we go on Harinam and you come with us. Well, the Bhakta is forcibly dragged to the Harinam party. Right? So Prabhupada says, if you once start devotional service, by the power of bhakti, you will be forcibly dragged towards success. And that means whether you want or not, you will be successful, you know. And it's interesting, how is that possible? But my understanding is that because we have a free will, right? A choice. But once we turn to Krishna and tell Krishna, Krishna, I want to be your devotee, I want to, and we start devotional service, Krishna has seen that desire. And we may forget about it at some point, you know, we may space out or deviate, but Krishna has heard the desire. You said, you know, this Shiva said he wants to come back. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Shishigo Nitai Ki Jai. That means even if we fall down or we deviate, but because we have started bhakti, eventually it will come to success. Krishna will bring us back to the path. Because we have once made that statement, Krishna, I want to be your devotee. Krishna takes that seriously. And also bhakti is so powerful because it awakens our original nature. We are meant to serve Krishna. And this original nature is awakened, so we will be successful at some point. Okay, so that's the effectiveness of the mantra. And then the last point is that when you are mature, your life will be successful. And I find that also interesting because it means we also need patience, right? And that's also what Rupa Goswami emphasizes in the same text, that in Dhariyat we have to be patient. And usually that's our problem, that we are not so patient. We think, okay, now I chanted already 2 months and why I'm not yet perfected. But patience is very important. And what is the example Srila Prabhupada gives in the purport? Someone remembers? Pregnant, yes. A man and woman marry, and the woman desires children, but the woman at least for 9 months she has to wait. Because they marry and then they come together, and then it takes 9 months before the child comes up. All right. So, and then Prabhupada says, as a woman, she has to give herself to the husband and then just depend on the the miracle of life that a child will be born. And you just have to wait. You can't force it. So similarly, if one just gives oneself to the process of devotional service, one has to wait and one has to be patient, and then the result will come at some point. And as I said here, when you are mature in life, then it will come. And I find that's also an interesting point. That we may have many desires and we may want to do this, or we want to do that. But then there is destiny also, and maybe we are not meant to get it now, right? But then when life matures, when we are in the in the mature phase of our life, and all of a sudden everything will happen. It will come. And yeah, here Jyotish can help, right? if you Jyotish astrology, if you know your dasha, antardasha, then it's like a fahrplan, how do you say, like a schedule. You know what happens. And sometimes you go through some up and downs, and then okay, it's Rahu is influencing here, or so And sometimes you desire something, but it's not the time. It's like, like if you in the winter now, the trees, they're very, I would say barren, or like they're, empty. But if you see an apple tree, that apple tree certainly will give apple, but not tomorrow. When spring comes and then the summer, when it's the proper season, then the tree will give the fruits, and then we can enjoy the fruits. But if there is not a season, you just have to wait. And similarly in our own life also, sometimes we want to do something, we want to have something, but we just have to wait till life is mature and it will give us the result. And the same is also with the effect of chanting the holy name with our spiritual progress. It may just take time before we really become free from some desires, or before we make tangible progress. It may just take time. But in the meantime, we should endeavor with a lot of confidence and faith. And then we will be successful. I will end with a statement by Carl Gustav Jung, just someone sent me, where it says, life really does begin at the age of 40. Who is 40 already? Past. So those who have not passed 40, your life has not begun, right? Okay. And up until then, you're really only doing research. You're only doing research, or like some rehearsal, you do some preparation. But the actual life starts with 40. That's Jung says, he's. But in a sense, in a similar line, when life comes mature, then things will manifest. So sometimes we just need to wait before things manifest. And that's especially true when it comes to spiritual life, because we just have to do the practice, sadhana, and have faith that at some point we will see the results of it. So in this way, Lord Shiva is encouraging us. He speaks about the Rudra Gita, but we spoke about the Maha Mantra. So we chant the holy name for the pleasure of Krishna with attention. We have faith in the effect, and we know that at some point result will come. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any comments, additions, or some questions?
Yes, it is a question. You told this nice story of a student testing the power of Maha Mantra. So one sense, there seems to be a little contradiction. That from one side, our faith to the holy in the holy name is a gift from the Lord, from Vaishnavas. To have that strong faith is a gift. At the same time, one of the 10 offenses to the holy name is to not have complete faith in the chanting holy. So from that appears that it is a choice to have faith or not to have faith. So could you please reconcile this contradiction?
Okay, interesting question. Yeah. So faith is actually it's a gift and
a choice.
Or is a choice? What is faith? Yeah. Good question. Also, faith certainly it's very essential. We have this song, Boror, Kabor, what is that? How it goes? The broker song, no? Miteinander. How it starts? Koda. Yeah, Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Not Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai. Nitai, he is the proprietor of that market. There is a market of the holy place, right? And Koda Nitai, he is the owner of that market of the holy place, and he is very mercifully selling that holy name for a very cheap price. But what is the price? He sells the price for one's faith, the currency of one's faith. So according to the faith that we give, he gives the holy name. If we have full faith, we get Shuddhanam, pure name. If you have only little faith, then we get some kind of holy name. So yeah, faith is very important. It's a good question. Yeah, I guess my understanding would be faith develops in the association of devotees, and we should develop a desire, to increase our faith. So we have to cry. We have to really, depend on Krishna, and ask Krishna that we may develop that faith, and then also cry and beg for the association of devotees, and in that association, that faith becomes stronger. That's the only way to increase our faith. It's mercy. It's a mercy. It's a gift. But we can do something to attract that mercy. Like we know from the Damodar Lila, right? Everything is kripa, everything is mercy from the Lord. But then from our side, we can endeavor to attract that mercy. Someone else likes to answer Deen Dayal's questions? Yamuna Kelly, Mataji? You agree with my answer? Yeah? Okay, good. Please? Yeah.
Very nice to do research about this point is the introduction of Madhurya Kadambini. Yes. Speak very detailed about this point, yes. Shraddha. Where coming the faith? Because the atheistic peoples have the heart dried, yes? Dry heart, don't have a faith. Even great literators, great writers want to believe in God, but don't have a faith. And with the faith, we cannot God, yes? And where come the faith? and Shukadeva Krishna Chakravarti is playing about this in this introduction. Faith coming with the contact with devotee. Our bondage, our samsara finish when we get a pure devotee. In our case, yes, Prabhupada spread faith, bhakti faith in the whole world, yes. But really the introduction of the Madhura Kandamini is very wonderful. You said that the life begins after 40. Prahlada Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami,
of course, this is a...
and
Dhruva was only boy also.
Yes, because bhakti is transcendental, yes?
Sure.
The consciousness is transcendental. And
you got me. This was not
a wonderful point that you say. I love this because this is from Upadeshamrita, yes? When you started, you begin bhakti straining your force.
Force, yeah.
Yes, you go to the finish force, yes. And have a verse of Shukadeva Goswami on 6th canto in the Ajamila session. Is the holy name is like a medicine.
Yes.
If you know the medicine, or if you don't know the medicine,
effect will be there.
Make the effect, yes. Like a children. If the children took the medicine and don't know the posology, what happened, but the effect will come in. Yeah. Or if one is inconscient and take the medicine is still. This is the powerful of the whole name.
Thank you. Very nice addition. Very nice addition. That when we speak about the effect, that's a wonderful analogy of the medicine. It's not required that you know all the ingredients of the medicine and how it works. You just take the medicine, effect will be there. So holy name, you take it, effect will be there. Yeah. And yes, I thank you, Mahakrishna Prabhu. I appreciate so much that you always remind us of following the parampara and tattva. That little statement at the end, it was not bona fide. Different. Yeah, it was. But I gave the source, but I just wanted to highlight at the point of maturity that we need to be patient, and sometimes it just takes some time. In some cases, of course, Dhruva and Prahlad, at a very, very young age, they were already mature and perfected. But in the average age of a Kali Yuga person, 40 is a good age to become more mature. Okay. Yes. Okay.
I just had some thought on this principle of faith. Mm-hmm. And perhaps faith we could also see as on a spectrum. Like Prabhupada says, how Krishna consciousness has no end of perfection. So faith also has no end of perfection. And we know these 9 stages, it starts with Adav Shraddha. So some faith or some favorable attitude is required for this process to kickstart. So at some level, some kind of favorable faith is required. And after that you get sadhu sangha and it strengthens and strengthens. And I was thinking how faith is a dialogue between us and the Lord. The more we have faith, the more mercy we get. And out of that mercy, our realization or our want of faith also increases. Yeah. So it's like a reciprocation also.
Yeah, the whole process is like increasing faith, we can say. Yeah, the whole process from Shraddha to Prema means increasing faith. And Prema is like full faith. 108% faith. Full. Yeah. Guru Nishta Prabhu has a comment. Yes, I knew it.
Получается, что здесь было все очень классно, дополнение хорошее. Я считаю, что вообще лекция идеальная.
So all the comments that were recited was very nice, and generally the lecture was perfect. Thank you so much. I just wanted to add something from myself, just a couple words. So in the morning, when we are chanting the holy names for the Lord, we should prepare for that. So we have morning, but before it was the night and the evening. And the day also. So how we act during the day, we are preparing for the morning to meet the Lord. We are honoring Prasadam. We are always trying to think about Krishna and Vaishnavas. We are bowing down to our Guru, serving. We don't offense anyone. Just not only devotees, but generally all the jivas. So the japa that we chanted in the morning, we are trying to keep this mood, this, how to say, I don't know, aura. I don't know.
Spiritual aura.
I don't know, outfit, yes, some special outfit of holy name. So we try not to eat before going to sleep at night.
Not too much.
And in the evening to read the Krishna book. And in the morning wake up already with the desire to speak to the Lord.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is called sankalpa. You know, having this sankalpa, that determination. Tomorrow I will chant nice rounds. Beautiful. And I again would encourage Guru Nishta Prabhu to give a lecture at some point. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Alles gut. Ja. Gut ist gut. Ja. Gut ist selber. Ja. Cool. Englisch geht gut. Ja, es kommt gut. Ja, kann man nicht. Vielleicht noch mal wechseln. Wir machen zum Anfang. Schau dir an. Ja.
Really